Okay, this is the first of two predictive programming
the mattress,
movies
I dozed off.
that I think everyone needs to have a look
I was
at.
dreaming.
This is the
the
newest one.
My 8-year-old
I'm
son
sorry,
was
that's
standing
just
beside
Charlie's
my
new
bed.
bell.
I
That
remember
he's
in the
doing
dream
jingle bell
asking
for everybody. He's a
why
bit
he
late
was
for
there,
Christmas,
who
Charlie.
brought
You're a bit
him
late,
there,
darling.
and how to get there.
But yeah, so
And I
this
guess
is
I
the
had
first
enough
one.
consciousness to
The
know
second one with
he
Richard
shouldn't be
Gere, I
there.
think, is the more
So I
important
immediately
one, but
woke
you'll
up,
see
and
the
when I
connection
did,
when
there
we
was
get
a
to the
figure
bottom.
standing beside the
Enjoy.
bed. Had long arms, skinny like fingers, skinny arms, wings above its shoulders, and its face, I could see dark, large circles where its eyes would be.
And it was late in the evening. We're coming around the first curve, and the first curve will be near a graveyard, actually. And as we come around the curve, we slowed down, and the headlights hit something in the road. What they hit was a form. And for a split second, I thought, oh, it's a large bird in the middle of the road. It kind of stands up a little bit. With just one movement, it shot straight up.
When it got to that part of the house and went up over the house, you actually could hear it. I stood up, turned around to the back window of the bedroom, and you could see the shadow of whatever this was flying over the field to the back of the house.
Okay, this is obviously number 2, the one with Richard Gere. This one is quite a bit older and it has a lot of predictive programming in it. So put your eyes on and your ears on and pay attention and see what's going on in the world.
Okay. Alright, it's just me.
You didn't see him, did you? You didn't see him, did you? You didn't see him.
See what? She knew. She was drawing angels.
What are you doing here?
Somehow between 1 and 2:30, I traveled 400 miles. I've got no memory.
Past few months, people have been coming up to me and reporting strange things. Weird lights, strange phone calls.
Hello? Who is this?
What do you do when someone comes into your office and tells you they saw this in their backyard?
My wife saw something. Drew pictures. Just like this.
Who showed you this?
You know what that is?
One day I started hearing voices. The voices became messages.
He was right here. All I could see were these two red eyes.
I met him.
You met him.
He said, do not be afraid.
99 will die. 99 will die.
All 99 are believed dead.
You're reading my mind, aren't you? What's in my hand? This isn't just a message, it's a prediction.
Good afternoon. Now, you're probably wondering what Mothman has to do with anything. Well, let's just say that the whole Mothman thing, when that movie first came out with the guy that was in Pretty Woman, can't remember his name off the top of my head. I wasn't a big fan, obviously. And then he was in another one where he was a prisoner of war in China. So he was being tortured or whatever. Richard Gere or whatever his name is, I don't know. But yeah, so he did a movie called Mothman, which obviously I'm showing the trailer for because it stuck in my mind. So with this jibby jab, the one that's going like hot potato right now, to find out that it's actually derived from moths and tree bark. Now, I did look at this over 9 months ago, so I knew all about the soap plant, which is basically the fluffer. It allows oils to mix with water. So it's how they bring the liquid nanoparticles into the jibby jab, is through that moth, not through the moth, but through the soap. I can't remember what it's called. So basically this stuff is exactly the same stuff. They're pricing it, and I say pricing, I should say priming it as a complete different, and it is different to the way it's produced through the base. It's like whether your car is petrol, electric or gas or diesel, you know, you've got 4 different methods that you can drive your vehicle that will get you from point A to point B. The engine will work differently. The way you charge it will be done differently. But at the end of the day, it's serving the same friggin' function, isn't it? It's getting you from point A to point B, hopefully. So it's a mode of transport. And that's exactly how I liken this jibby jab. It's hyped up to be something completely different so that people will think that there's none of this nefarious connections, that it won't have any of this tracking stuff and it won't have any of this nano crap in it. But it has all that crap in it. It's exactly the same. It's just a different method of delivery. That's all it is. And the protein, they're saying that it's a protein-based rather than a mRNA. Well, do people not realise, and do they not realise either, that all mRNA vaccines theoretically are protein-based, because the mRNA is a protein-based derivative, so it makes no difference. See, look at that. How do they get the spike protein? And they take it from from cells from a moth, which is an insect. And now I know why when I was looking at, and this is where I wish that my brain worked better, because a couple of months ago, so probably six to 8 weeks ago, just before the end of the year, I was looking at jobs, not for me, but for jobs that might be, coming into place at certain places that are like centres or camps, because I'd already done the police, and I was looking at security, I was looking at all of that type of stuff, and it came up, there was a whole heap of people for endocrinological, whatever it is, but anyway, for insects. People that were senior specialists in insect technology and analyzation. And they were saying it was all down to biohazard because of stuff coming in from overseas in the mail and everything else. So people to actually analyse and work for the government here in Queensland that were able to be insect experts. And they were trying to make it out as it was some indigenous type thing, so they were trying to like dumb it down as dumb as it could go. And I went, why, excuse me for speaking, but I was like, what the fuck are they doing with insects? So I dismissed it. I totally dismissed it because I'd forgotten all about this. Because this was months and months ago, and since then, hundreds of things have happened that have been more important than some friggin' moth protein from back in April last year, maybe even earlier than April. So to see these habits ugly head come up, and under the guise of let's get the 5%, I'm really quite disturbed actually. The soap bark, that's it. So you can, that soap bark, you can use it instead of soap. It doesn't foam up because it's an emulsifier, a foamer, all these things. It goes into food. It's exactly like the that video I did about what's in the ice cream that got me in trouble and it gave me a strike. That came from Jeff C. Okay, it came from Jeff C. And it was a video I did on him that got me my last strike. So I can't mention what it is, but you can look at that yourself and look for a defluffer in the vaccines, and it will give you what it is. And it starts with D. And it's in ice cream, it's in custards, it's in hand wash lotion. So it's pretty scary. But this one here, the soap bark, and the derivative that it's called, the supposins, they actually can be used in chemicals, in pesticides. So to think why something that is used in a pesticide is being put into something that is meant to be put into the human body is a little bit shocking. And it tells you that things aren't exactly as innocent as what they think. But anyway, I can't say anything more, otherwise I'll end up with no channel, and then I can't get any information out to anybody. So I'll leave it there. Make your own mind up on what you think about things. Look at that. The bacillus virus, it sounds like bacillava, doesn't it, like Dracula, infects moth cells and replicates inside them. So the protein replicates inside itself. Because it does, because look at that. Look at that. The virus infects the moth cells and replicates inside them. Those moth cells create lots of spike proteins. So there you go. So it's like exactly what the other things do. Self-propagate within you internally. They're driven by themselves. Yeah. And the other thing to look into, I haven't mentioned before, because once again, I've got to be a little bit careful on what I say. But there's a certain gentleman for Fizzer, and you know who I'm talking about. The one whose his throat was like a frog, you know, enlarging everywhere. He's been in the media recently about, you know, how wonderful things are. Do you know that he's not a human doctor? He's a veterinarian. Oh, it makes it more fucking insane, doesn't it? He's a veterinarian. You look him up, Google him, and you'll see he's a bloody veterinarian. Doesn't work on humans, he works on animals. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? And here's the man running the global rollout of gene technology that goes into human bodies. So yeah, it is a clinical trial, and we are lab rats because he's a veterinarian. I can't say anything more. But anyway, if my channel's gone after this, it was nice knowing you all, and do your own research. I'll try to pop up somewhere else if I can. My name will stay the same. It might just be Conspiracy Realist. I'll probably drop the Lily White, because people are taking that as a slur for racial, and it has nothing to do with racial. Like in World War II, Lily White was, you know, the colour of the fact that you didn't have a tan, you were Lily White, or it was put down to someone, it was like getting the white feather, you know, you were a coward. So, and that's why I say sometimes, you know, Lily White is my name, not my nature, because I'm definitely not a coward. But yeah, so I might just become Conspiracy Realist. So if I disappear, it's because of this video. You know that. But anyway, look after yourselves and protect your bloody children. I don't want to have to tell you again. Protect your kids, protect your babies and your animals. They're precious and we need to look after them. They can't do it themselves. Bye.
It makes me sick what I do for this shitty planet.